Running fans, jumping fans, throwing fans, all around athletics fans. Welcome to Talking in Ovals. How's everybody doing out there on this Thursday, December 26th, day after Christmas? How's everybody doing? It is the episode 119. Hi, what's up, brother?
Not much. I just want to clear something off right off the bat here. I went back and listened to one of our past episodes we had with Mike Benson, and we've been singing CBA's praises for weeks now, and it's well deserved. I don't know how you couldn't, but something that I said that I would like to clarify. It came across that I just look at them as a team that has talent. That is the furthest thing from the truth. They develop people. Yes, they get some good kids coming in, so do all schools, but they develop the talent. So to anybody out there that might have misconstrued what I said, we are fans here of CBA, always will be. We respect them, and they develop the hell out of all of the kids. So anybody who misconstrued what I said, I apologize. We are big fans of CBA and always will be, and they represent our state very, very well. So we have been singing their praises. I got loose with some of my words, and I just wanted to clarify that. And now let's move on for a great episode.
So I want to give you full screen to give you your time there. Make sure that you had that.
Yeah, man. Listen, I if I say anything and it's taken out of context, I will certainly clarify it and clear it up. I know how hard that those kids work and that staff, and they develop great kids, and those kids are running great in high school and college, and kids that they get in, they keep going. So I just wanted to clarify, and now we move on.
We can go more into depth, but you wanted to air it out. I'm not going to say my piece. I'm going to let you do your thing.
Yeah,
but
that's it.
That's fine. So let's jump in. Everyone that's watching out there, whether it be on X, Facebook, YouTube, we appreciate it all. As always, you're all freaking awesome. If you're on X, make sure you give us a follow and a repost. If you are on Facebook, follow and share it. On YouTube, smash that like button. Like this episode, it helps. Leaving comments, that always helps. And then the biggest thing is word of mouth. Telling everyone that we are here, who we are, what we do. It's always a good time to do that. Yeah. So please go on and have some fun and do that. Now, Dave, how was your Christmas?
My Christmas was good, but my real Christmas won't start until I get my girls on Saturday. So that's why the tree's up. There's still gifts under there. So it was great. I got to spend time with my fiance and her family. It was wonderful. And now Christmas with my daughters will be this weekend, and they are excited because they get multiple Christmases.
That's always a good time. But real quick, so I don't want to leave our guests waiting. Last week we had Phil Grove on, flow track announcer, PA MileSplit writer, and we had so much fun just talking about the BU opener, a little bit of XC stuff. He brought in talking about the coaches meeting over in Orlando and some of the roster spots in NIL. We had lots of fun. We talked about the Bowerman, and we both got that right. With Parker Valby winning for the ladies. And I always mess up Leo's last name, the German fellow that does multi-events.
Cathlon from Texas. Yeah, he's a beast.
A monster. So he won there. We both talked about that. Phil got it right. I just kind of coattailed on him because Phil's smarter than me. But I want to bring in our guest this week. For our astute listeners, we're on a Thursday, but this man is always worth the wait. So we don't care when every once in a while he's got to do what he's got to do. We will always wait for him. He is our reoccurring guest. He is Jim Lambert, the one, the only, the legend. He is legendary. XC track and field reporter for New Jersey MileSplit. Jim, what's going on, brother?
And he's rocking a sweet stash today, a very sweet stash.
Yeah. You never know when you might need a body double in a movie, the mustache for a middle-aged track and field veteran reporter. So
there you go.
I got the look just in case,
You're the second guy that has a mustache that just like put one on in my life. In one my boss just got a mustache randomly, and like obviously we're complimenting him because that's kind of the thing, right? Yeah, whenever a guy gets a stash, like the women are like, that's gross. The guys are like, yo, sweet stash.
Well, like that's how it is. Right? Yeah, it's all about the stash. All about the stash. Man.
Yeah. All about that. Yeah. So I want to jump in right away with you because we always have fun. We talk New Jersey XC and track and field when you are here. If you're not from New Jersey, we apologize. But we believe that we have the greatest state. One of the greatest states. I'm not going to knock Texas, obviously Florida, Georgia. There's some incredible Cali, incredible running states, but we put Jersey up there with any of them. And we love talking about it, especially when we have Jim. So Jim, I want to jump in right away. What were your reactions for this XC season?
Well, I mean, we all talked back in probably late August, early September about what we thought was going to happen this season.
We'll go over those predictions, don't you worry.
Yeah, yep. And I mean, I I remember we talked about it was pretty unanimous that it was going to be CBA on the boys' side, Union Catholic on the girls' side. Paige Shepard from Union Catholic, Joe Barrett from CBA came in as the overwhelming favorites, and they all delivered. They all
lived up,
delivered.
man. They lived
Yeah,
up to it.
they delivered in spectacular fashion. I mean, we'll get into CBA's historic season, which
Crazy.
yeah, it's right at the very, very top. It's right
I
at the
think
very
it's the
top.
best team that we've ever seen.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question about the most talented team we've ever seen. If you put the CBA team against any other team that's ever run in New Jersey,
And
nine times out of 10, they're probably going to come out on top. The 15-42.
I
Yeah,
agree wholeheartedly. But we're going to have a guest on next week who is going to try to debate us on that. So I'm very excited about it.
Is he on the 2011 CBA team?
No, Bernard's from the old school days.
Oh, boy, so Lyle Smith's going to be carrying the torch for his alma mater there, huh? His old squad.
And I love it. And I love it because I love the competitiveness too, for the fact that we can always, have those conversations, those battles, because we have had those great teams come out of New Jersey. And
you have some great teams.
I think I mentioned it a few weeks ago when we were talking to Craig Siegel, and it's like, we had all expected that's right. We expected CBA to do what they did, maybe not to the level that they did it at, but we expected them to come in, clean house in Jersey, be competitive in the nation, right? Mm-hmm. We expected Paige Shepard to do what she did, but I don't think people realize, like, maybe a lot of people watching this do, because they were runners and listening. They were runners, they were athletes, a lot of them good. When the target's on your back, sometimes it's harder. It's easier to be the ones chasing. It's easier to look up and be like, I got to go catch them. But when you're the one that's breaking the wind for everyone else, when you're the one that's the leader, that's hard. And CBA was able to do it week in and week out and exceed all of our expectations. And then you have Paige Shepard, we're coming off of a historic season last year all around with Union Catholic, was like, oh, this is easy. My team's going to dominate every year, to kind of be on her own. Obviously, Union Catholic still is a really deep and good group. But in terms of individual, she had other ladies to really run with up top from Union Catholic last year. And this year, it was a different story. And there was no Emma Zawadzki either to really push her hard. And to see her do what she did is incredible, the way she did it.
Yeah, well, basically, I mean, Shepard and Joe Barrett went into nationals undefeated. I mean, they won every single race, broke records multiple times, and like you said, it was a different approach for Paige this year, where she had to be the one that everybody was chasing, where it was really Zawadzki was defending champ last year. And she proved, and it's hard to run on your own out front.
As a sophomore, still learning how to race, still learning how to, because you don't know how to race yet. Like, that doesn't really come until your junior, maybe senior year. And then you go into college and you realize you have no idea how to race again. Right. So it's like, to be able to be so mature, and that goes to the coaching as well. Sure. And the culture that they have over there at Union Catholic, and similar with CBA, the culture of, expectations, right? When there is a good CBA team, they expect to be competitive nationally. They're not worried about, they don't take anything for granted, but they are expecting to be the best in New Jersey. There's different levels of these types of expectations.
You hit it on the head, Alex, with Paige. She had to learn how to race this year. If you remember right, last year as a freshman, she had a huge lead over through the roller coaster, through the half mile, through tennis 3/4, right? Even through the bowl. Yep, even through the bowl. And Zawadzki was able to reel her in. They had a great finish, and she learned from that. She learned to kind of just know how to push the pace, but not kill yourself in that first mile. And Barrett learned that this year. Barrett was chasing the clock at the Meet of Champs. I mean, he was the overwhelming favorite.
Incredible.
We talked all year about his quest to break 15, challenge possibly the course record, and it was basically a time trial for him. And the first 1K, he talked about it. He went 2:57 at first 1K. Yeah,
insane.
It's a hard one.
That is a
home dog park too.
That is a hard 1K.
And he uphill.
And he said it. He was 5:04 at the mile, 10:05 at 2 miles, and then he said, "I just kind of hit a wall around the tennis court, so my legs felt that." And
I mean, yeah. Yeah.
Listen,
I'd say, that's not easy to do there. That's incredible.
Joe Barrett had a season that I don't know if historically it will go down, giving him as much credit, but kind of like Alex said, it's hard to be the alpha on the best team and to lead them. And he led them every single week. He was that solid piece for them every single week. So I hope that this goes down in history as this great runner leading this team, because a lot of times the best runner on the best team doesn't win MOC.
Right.
So it's like he literally led this team from start to finish all year.
Yeah, I mean, you look at his times at Bowdoin, you look at his times at Ocean County Park, 15-25 at Homedale, back-to-back meet a champion winner, leading the team to the greatest team performances we've ever seen over the last 2 years.
Sure.
I mean, Barrett's place in history, is solidified.
As it should be.
Yeah, I mean, he's an all-time great. I mean,
absolutely.
Yeah, he showed it, and unfortunately, it's tough to win a national championships. And if you're from CBA, that's your goal from day one. When you go out on that first group run together, they chase history. You talked about it before, having a target on their back and everyone chasing them. They are chasing themselves. They're chasing history every time they race, every season, every time they take the line. And I know they're disappointed with the 5th place finish at nationals, but it's hard.
Disappointed with the 5th place finish.
Yeah. Just
and you know what? But and I think part of it too, and we talked about this some with Craig, is that people forget that these are high school kids. They're just kids. Like they, and Craig brought up a good point. Like, yeah, they win most years, but this might be this kid's first time winning a county title or sectional title. So they're just kids, and they ran pretty much flawlessly.
It shows you how hard it is to win a national championship. I mean, you have to have everybody has to be on that day.
Yeah,
and
you might know this, but I feel like it's harder from New Jersey because there's just more races that you have to run to get.
You have to run on Homedale a few times a year. That sucks.
Yeah.
That's not easy. And on top of that too, I don't think we realize, and a lot of people take for granted, I think a lot of other public school coaches, the job Coach McCafferty had to do with that group, because it's not, when the goal is the national championship, it's not just about running fast every week. It's about trying to get them at the right point at the right time to peak during nationals. And that's hard. And how do you tell Joe Barrett, don't go after every course record? How do you tell him not to do that? Like, you can't. It's very difficult. And how do you tell him at Meet of Champs? You know what? You can go get the course record. You have the ability to, but dial it back. We want to have a great race at regionals. And it's so hard as a coach to balance when to do that, when to not, when to pick your spots. And I think Coach McCafferty did as good of a job as any coach could do getting those boys there, because then also now he's thinking about indoor, right? Because, all right, now they went there. How much rest are they going to get to indoor? Because now, Joe and the group are switching to the 8, the 16, the 32. Where are they going each spots? And again, the expectation, I've been saying it on this show for weeks. I don't see a reason why they don't go after the 4x-mile and outdoor, the national record. You're telling me they don't have 4 kids that can go damn near 410, if not under it? And again, the expectations are insane.
No, you hit it on the head with Coach McCafferty was picking his spots with Barrett and his guys. I mean, he kept them all healthy, kept them sharp. I mean, Barrett didn't have to go to the wall every race, and when he did, we saw the results. And I mean, I think what helped this year was the gap between the Northeast Regional and Nationals this year.
Yes,
where athletes actually could run, and some athletes did it. The Nike Regional.
Oh, we lost Jim for a second.
That worked out well.
Sorry, Jim, you were gone for a second. Can you repeat that again?
I'm just saying how this year I think it helped a lot to have the 2-week gap between Nike Northeast Regional and National Championships, and Foot Locker was in between, so there were athletes that could do both. And with CB, I think it really helped them have those 2 weeks. All teams from the Northeast, for that matter, to have the 2-week gap. But flying cross country and just needing all the guys to be sharp on the same day, it's hard to do. It's hard.
Again, you are dealing with teenage boys, or teenage kids. It's so hard.
Yeah.
So, Jim, have you noticed less kids going to Foot Locker since it moved to Boston?
Oh,
from the Northeast?
Yeah. That's definitely happened. I think also too, some of the best runners in the state over the last couple of years
have been on good teams.
Right. So they go to Bowdoin and they go after Nike. But I do think we'd see more athletes perhaps definitely try that Nike Foot Locker double if they didn't have to travel to Boston. I mean, it's definitely
and
definitely
shout out to former guest Lila Gort for making it back there. I mean, that's
yeah. I'm glad you brought up Lilia's name, because her career. I mean, we talked about Barrett and where he goes down in history. and we focus on times. We focus on the victories. Now, Lilia Gordon hasn't won a meet a champion title yet. Still has a couple opportunities, and I think she's gonna get it indoors. I think she's gonna get that 2-mile
32
elusive meet a champ title the way
going to be well deserved. Well deserved.
Yes, I mean, you look at her career, 4 times in the top 8 at the cross country meet a champions. Not too many athletes can say that. I think it was 8th, 7th, 5th, and 2nd, back to back Foot Locker national qualifier. I mean. Yeah, we focus a lot on the winners, like I said, but there's a lot of great runners that that fill that resume. And I mean, shout out to Lilia for that.
We had
her career.
We had 2 young ladies make it to Foot Locker.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, Allison Lee. I mean, they had great battles back and forth. Lilia and Allison, and you talk about someone who was a big breakthrough this year. I mean. Who was talking about? And we talked about this preseason. There's always some runners that put in the miles,
and she is that one. She had a tremendous season.
She did, and that should be great. Come indoors. I mean, I can't wait to see what happens in the mile and 2-mile, indoors with all the talent that's coming back. It's going to be a lot of fireworks on the track for sure.
So, who else? What was some of your favorite performances to see throughout the year? Do you have any specific races, specific meets? Because outside of Barrett, we had Luke Pash running some ballsy races. We had Clay Stevens. Running like a freak of nature. Obviously, we had Paige, we had Lilia, we had other, a lot of good breakout performances. What were some of your favorite races to cover?
I mean, the group meet was fantastic this year. I mean, most of the favorites prevailed, but seeing someone like Honig from Manalapan, for instance, a lot of ups and downs in her career. She was able to stay healthy, and another one that just put in the training, put in the miles. That was one of my favorite performances, to see her kind of run the table through the local level and win a state Group 4 championship as well, and to see that kind of come together, and then to see Jack Tyndall. I mean, we talked about his 8th grade times, and we knew coming in that this guy had the potential to be something special. And gosh, he took 20 seconds off that Homedale Park freshman record with his 15:55. So
yes, he did.
I mean, that's. As a freshman, that
was unbelievable. That was right at the top as far as the greatest things I've ever seen. And
that's a legend, Joe Rosa, that ran when Joe Rosa ran the 16:16. We were like, is a freshman going to go under 16:15? Like that was crazy at the time when Joe Rosa did it. Yeah, and now we have a freshman under 16 at Homedale. Like that is.
And when Jack did that at the short coaches meet, and unfortunately got a little banged up at the end of the year and couldn't, drop his time, under that 15:55. But that performance right at the top for me. I mean, the 15:42 by CBA just stands alone in history.
Insane.
And one point off a perfect score at the meet of champions.
Listen, that's my biggest argument for them being the greatest team ever. Times, whatever, because you can't compare errors and times, but the fact that they scored 16 points against the whole state is
ridiculous.
Like you put them against everybody else in the state and they almost have a perfect score. It's
one place away. And what the short conference did in that boys race, the top 7 places, I think it was 8 out of 10. Ridiculous.
Well, how about the meet champ? I mean, CBA certainly helped us, but I think that the top 7 were all from the A North division.
Oh, that's right. And not just A North, because you had
having 5
from Colts Neck, Clay Stevens, and 5 CBA guys.
Yep. All from the same division. That has never happened. That has never happened.
It's definitely never happened in a state. What state could say that one division
had the top 7
biggest meet of the year and just cleaned up like that? Ridiculous, unbelievable.
Yeah, we saw some incredible things this year, and we were excited at the beginning of the year with all the prospects of what could be. And I'm looking back at it right now and I'm re-going over some of your predictions, and you were close on a lot of them. I think you missed a good amount of them, but it wasn't like you missed by a mile.
It could have been weather too, like wind weather,
Well, here's the thing. So let's start going over them real quick as I'm looking at them. You had double-digit girls under 19 at Homedale. You missed by 1. We had 9. At Meet a Chance, we had 9. We had... Let's talk about the young ladies. Paige, obviously, with their 18:02. Lilia Gordon with their 18:13. Allison Lee with their 18:27. Kaylee Kaiser, 18:33. Dominique Cameron, 1837. Sadie Honig, 1838. Catherine Keating, 1840. Natalie Knowles, 1847. Jessica Abbott, 1854. And Leah Starkey ran a 19 flat. If Leah would have ran a second faster, she was 9.
Leah, just a little bigger kick there, Leah. We would have had that.
Faster.
Talk about freshmen, though, too.
Yeah.
You look at this group. We have Natalie Knowles, freshman from Ridgewood, 1847, and Leah running a 19 flat. And both in the top 10. You're looking at the future here. Obviously, Paige is a sophomore.
Paige is only a sophomore, too, yeah.
Yeah. Paige is only a sophomore. We have Kaiser from Union Catholic, obviously only a sophomore. Dominique Cameron from Leonia, a sophomore. Keating is a sophomore. The future is ridiculous. And we always talk about this, right? We're always like, what's going to happen? Emma Zawatsky's leaving us. And, we're looking at all these great athletes. And then it's like, boom, reload,
well,
set a new record, reload, set a new, it's ridiculous.
If you look at that list that you're looking at, Alex, I think there's 2 in the top 12 that are seniors. I think everyone else is underclassmen.
It's Lilia's a senior, Sadie's a senior, and the rest of them, number 13 was a senior, and that's which is again.
You'll definitely see that more on the girls' side than you will.
Oh, always happens, yeah. And we mentioned Union Catholic season. No,
a lot of injuries. Yeah.
Well, they got some kids nicked up at the end of the year that wound up coming back for them at regionals and nationals, but the whole team's back. Yeah. The entire 7. Back.
So we could be looking at another something special next year or the following year, right? Because it might take 2 years, because even last year's team, we knew what they had coming. Obviously, Paige gave that a huge boost as a freshman.
Hell yeah.
But even without Paige, they were going to be a national powerhouse with that group that they had. Yeah. Then you add Paige, and it was unfair.
Well, if you look at the
here's a question. Yep. Is there a better top 3 on the girls' side than Manalapan had? I don't see it.
What their third girl run at Meet of Champs or at Homedale?
They had Honing, they had Abbott, and then they had Olivia Schweibens with a 1906, and she took 14th.
Yeah, I think
so they had 3 in the top 14.
Yeah. Well, Sophia Thompson did not run at the Meet of Champs for Union Catholic.
Yeah,
but if you plug her Homedale best time in, you're going Shepard, Kaiser, Thompson. That's pretty lethal. Front loaded squad there.
It's just great seeing like that. These girls, like, they're all back and they're all hungry.
Yes.
And it's just going to be fun.
Well, I mean, Union Catholic 10th at nationals last year, 10th again this year, but everyone ran much faster and the whole team back. That's kind of been the process, to kind of like look at the team, 3-year process, be among the best in the country, keep progressing, and then boom, challenge for that national title next year. That's kind of the trajectory that McCabe's squad's on.
Yeah. So let's keep going over some of these. I like, Jim, as knowledgeable as you are, sometimes it's nice to see when you fail. Damn it, no. So you just missed the double-digit girls. Barrett winning mocks, you were correct about that, but you said sub 15. He went 15-24. And it's not, and he wasn't alone necessarily. Clay gave him a nice run for his money in there. And obviously, XC is so weird because you can make that prediction. Obviously, he has sub 15 ability.
You don't know weather,
and even like the conditions, what they did. So that's a miss. Shepard wins Meet of Champs at 1730, win, but in 1802. That's circumstance. Yeah. If again, we put Emma Zawatsky.
She fell down.
She did fall down. But you have Emma Zawatsky with the 5th year of eligibility. They're both going sub 1730, right? So it's like there's kind of circumstance there as well. Not knocking any of the other.
You are letting Jim off the hook way too easy here.
I am. I'm being nice. Okay. But this one was a good one.
Did go, for the record, Shepard did run 1741 at short coaches.
But that's not sub 1730.
Next year.
So CBA
next year.
CBA under 15. Yeah, next year in every race. CBA under 1550 average at Homedale, 1542. Crushed it. 8 seconds. That one was awesome.
Yeah.
UC girls sub 1825 average. They didn't get that. They were 1915 there. But like you said, they had one young lady not there, which would have pushed it not 1825, but I think they would have been sub 19.
Oh, definitely. I mean, they ran 1901 average at Bowdoin the next week when Thompson was back. So that puts them in the ballpark.
Yeah, exactly.
Bowdoin's definitely comparable.
Well, I would make that same prediction again with Barrett, because the way he ran the race, if he had a chance to do it again,
he was ready.
He 20s at Bowdoin. I mean, everything pointed to him being ready to do that. And I know he was capable of, but that 1K, the first 1K just hurt him.
I think my favorite part of these episodes are Jim's justification. It is my favorite part of the show.
But it's not like he's wrong,
No,
right?
He's right.
Like
he's absolutely right.
He's right about all these things. So
yeah.
Where were we? So, okay, we had Barrett, Pash, McMahon, Stevens, sub 1530 at Homedale. No, only Barrett went sub 1530.
Yep.
There. No freshman in the top 10. Leah Starkey ruined that for you with her 19 flat, getting her 10th. So listen,
Wait, did I say no freshmen in both races, boys and girls,
boys or girls?
Okay.
Boys. Here's the thing.
So Leah got me twice. She got me with the 19 flat, and
she did, Leah. Leah, go one way or the other. Damn it, give them one. You burned them both. But no, good for Leah and good for Alex Lynch over there at Ocean. He's one of mine and Dave's former athletes. He's now coaching over there, and he's doing really good things with all the boys and girls over there. I'm super proud of him. Jack Tyndall breaking the Homedale Park Frost record,
crushed it,
shattered it. I mean, beating Joe Rosa, like you said,
16 seconds, right? You got it by.
Yeah, it's no, I think it was,
21 seconds.
21 seconds.
No, I was wrong in the preseason. It was Craig Forius' record, 15.
He
ran it twice back in whatever his freshman year was, 2003.
But still, 20 seconds is
20 seconds he took off of that. I mean,
incredible. And your last one, CBA will win the national championship. Obviously, it's fifth place isn't a bad thing, but okay. So you went,
but he was really close on all of them. Like it
really close.
Could have been one or two ways.
You went 2 for like 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah.
Well, the meter champ winners. The meter champ winners is 4 for 4.
No, you gave times. You had specific times there. So you know what? I'll give you a half a point on each. So you went 3 for 9. And here's the thing: if Leah Starkey doesn't screw you on,
you get 2 more.
She runs a second faster and finishes 11. You know what? They all should have done everything I predicted. It's on them.
If they would have just listened,
they knew what they had to do. They knew what they were capable of doing. They just came up short.
Yeah, if they would have just listened, those rotten kids. But no. So the thing is, one thing I love about your predictions is, you're not giving out softballs. You're giving out these really aspirational ones. That's only going to be benefit the kids, right? If they do what you're asking to do, it's only elevating them more. So I do love your predictions. I love,
they're the best.
How much
it's fun to do. And most people just remember when you're right. I could just go on and say, I got that right. When you don't get it right, when you get it wrong, people seem to kind of forget that over time.
But you know what, though? It's easy when you're just like, oh, Joe Barrett can win and Shepard could win. Like, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But you gave times, which I thought were nice. And again,
and they were ambitious, but he went for it. Good.
But they were 2 of them doable. And like you said, if Paige doesn't fall, she's easily under 18. And whether it's 1730 or not is the question, but she's easily under 18 if she doesn't fall. So we had fun there. We're definitely going to get your indoor predictions because this is one of my favorite parts of every single show. And you better have come ready. You know what's coming to you.
I know it's
coming. So outside of maybe Allison Lee, did you have any other surprise breakouts on both the men and women's side?
The amount of freshman girls that broke in. I mean, you mentioned a couple of them in the top 10. I mean, Ridgewood had a pair there. Knowles and Keating.
Well, Keating's a sophomore.
I'm sorry.
Knowles and Starkey were the 2 in the
Knowles
top
and
10.
Starkey. I mean, we'd heard about Starkey. We talked about how she would probably be the best freshman.
She was sub 5 as an 8th grader, so it's like that. Yeah,
I got a good breakout that a lot of people, a guy that a lot of people really don't know before the season was Elizabeth Senior Max Bonisia. He was banged up quite a bit in the past. He started out the season winning the battle at Ocean County Park in the senior division. Took down some big guys in that race. Got banged up for a while. Didn't show up again to the Uni County Championships. He won that last half mile, pulled away. Then he broke. Then he won sectionals. He took down Lucas Disco. He took down McMahon. He took down like a lot of big names in a lot of big races. And then he went to Group 4 race. I believe he was 1550 range somewhere. And I broke 16.
Yep.
I mean that's a guy that I didn't have on my radar at all. And,
I remember seeing his name a few times, and I was like, where did he? I was kind of like, where did he come from? And he obviously didn't have the race that he wanted over at Meet of Champs, but definitely had a great season and a good, he went after it his senior year. You can never knock someone for going after it their senior year and putting their name into it. So that's Yeah, no, when I saw his name a few times, I'm like, should I have known who he was? Like, Jim didn't mention him. Who is he?
Hey, you know what? You mentioned guys stepping up their senior year, and I give a lot of credit to Bonisia and Pash.
Yeah.
The meter champs, you look at the results and say, boy, they had a bad race. Did you look at the times and the places? But they, along with Clay Stevens, were the few that went out with Barrett through that
Oh yeah.
ridiculous first
1,000,
1K, who said, oh, I'm going to stay on him and give myself a shot to win this race. It cost them, but honors in the effort. If you're in it to try to win it, you got to go with the guy leading the race. I mean, that's how you have to race.
And
Right?
going into it, I know we were talking about, Dave and I, it's like, if anyone could beat Joe Barrett, it's probably Pastor Stevens. Like, those are the two guys you were looking at, like anyone that had a shot, and the way that they all raced all year, Pastor and Stevens were always within striking distance of Barrett in basically all the times that they competed. So if it was going to be, Barrett should win, right? He should win. He's the class of this group. But it would not have been a surprise if Pastor Stevens hung with them and beat him at the line. Like, it wouldn't have been, none of us would have fallen off our seat and been like, where did they come from? It would have been,
they're all tremendous runners. They're all,
they got Joe this time. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's so,
I think what we did see over the course of the season is just how strong, Barrett was, and how it was going to be tough. If someone's going to go out with them, they're going to pay the price. That's what happened. They paid the price. You could just see the way Barrett was racing that. Hanging with him was going to be tough to do.
He ran like he knew he was the alpha male, and that he had the best team. And he said, "Hey boys, hop on, let's go." And his teammates went along and ran. I mean, they ran ridiculous.
The way they raced, the way CBA raced at non-public A, they just they packed up for 2 miles, and then Barrett just took off. Yeah. What did he run? I forget. He closed in some. It was the most ridiculous closing of all time. The way he ran, like the last 3/4 of a mile, whatever it was, and that just speaks to, like you said before, about McCaffrey, the plan.
Oh yeah,
and just keeping these guys sharp for the big races.
And just looking at the Media Champs results, let's just give a shout out to we talk about Joe Barrett a lot, but Luke Knott taking third, running 15:41. Ryan Schmidt in fourth, 15:45. Alex Mastroli, 15:47, and then you have Gavin Schmidt, 15:53, and then in their sixth place guy, Ryan Collins. No, Ryan was their fifth, sixth place guy, a 16:02, and then their seventh place guy, Wyatt Falkowski, a 16:10. And you're looking at it, Barrett's a senior, Schmidt's a senior, Mastroli's a senior, but then the rest of them are coming back, and they have another year. Luke's going to be a senior next year. Gavin's a sophomore. You have Ryan Collins is going to be a senior, and Wyatt's going to be a senior. So it's like, let's reload. Luke ran a 15:41. There's no reason he's not running 15:30, if not sub 15:30 next year. And we might be looking at the next again, best runner in the state again. Like, it's the, Coach McCaffrey is doing a great job there, just keeping these guys in positions too, where it's like, it's not just a bunch of seniors running away with it.
No,
it's a blend there, and those guys know that they're important next year and the years beyond as well.
Yeah, I mean, we talked at the end of last season how crazy it might have sounded to say CBA could be better next year. Yep. So to say that again right now after what they just did, to most people, no, they can't top that. They did it last year when we thought it was one of the best teams of all. It was one of the best teams of all time.
Sure.
But the big numbers to look at is they bring back a Homedale 5-man average of 16:02. Their average last year, coming into this season, was 16:07 at Homedale. So they're 5 seconds faster. I mean, anything's possible with that group. Sure. And would it surprise us if we sat here right this same spot next year? We said this is the best team ever. That's how good the program is, and how they continue to improve.
I think going into next year, just based on chalk and paper, they're the team favorite, and Clay Stevens is the favorite for individual.
Yeah.
You're looking at it. You should have two guys right around 15:30, if not under, and then the other two
going under right now. I'm telling you, they're going under both of them.
And then the other two, and then two more under sub 15. And then again, Coach McCaffrey is developing this group, and he's going to find another guy probably that's right near 16 flat. Like, they are just a fantastic group, and it's exciting. And again, we've talked about it here, and people might sit there and be like, oh, they're talking about CBA again. But why not celebrate greatness? We talked about Westfield all last year, right? And Westfield deserved all of their flowers that we talked about. Yep. We are going to talk about the great teams, the great runners, the great athletes as they come. But we're also going to give shout outs, like we did, to the other individuals that were great all year and maybe didn't get the win, but, worked their ass off And now we're entering into the season of indoor where there are so many different races that we're going to be able to give all these individuals their flowers a little bit more. So let's jump into our indoor season.
Hey, Alex, real quick.
Go for it.
Just one quick thought on cross country.
Sure.
I can't wait to hear Lyle Smith next week, because as we're talking about CBA and all-time great teams, I started thinking about those Bernards teams. Now, I wasn't around to cover them. I've seen the times and performances.
I heard they were good.
Oh, they were great. And I can see where Lyle might be coming from, just thinking about what he might be thinking. They didn't have the opportunity to run on a current home court.
And don't get me wrong, Lyle Smith is right there saying that this CBA team is one of the greatest, if not the greatest of all. He just wants to try to add some entertainment.
But it brings up a great debate between the teams that didn't get to run pre-1978, the first year of the current Homedale course. It's hard to compare. And the 78 3-mile course.
78 was when Joe Weber won it, right? From Kearney, but they used the back hill,
right? Back hill. I'm sorry, 70. Yeah, so 79 was the first year of the current course.
Yeah.
And
the only thing that I may debate with that, and I'll talk to Lyle next week, obviously, is, and coming soon, actually, Thursday to Monday, will be, hey, you guys get extra track talk. It's going to be quicker. But the one thing that I will say is it was much more regional when Bernards was doing it. They were kind of seeing each other more consistent, where CBA is, competing in different areas, and the high level races are a little different now than they were. I'm not saying that Bernards wasn't running at a high level. They were obviously running the times. They were doing great things. But now when you're looking at, we talk about it all the time. They time trial a ton, right? There's a ton of time trialing going on, and you kind of go and pick. And when you're CBA, you're trying to gear up for nationals. So you're picking the fastest races. You're going to Bowdoin. You're going to certain places where the best teams are going to be. And when you come to Bowdoin, you're getting Connecticut, you're getting New York, you're getting this group of smorgasbord. Okay, we're seeing a potential Northeast regional right here in Bowdoin right now before we got to go up to Boston, right? So it's a little bit different in the way I think the coaches map out the meets than they did during the Bernards time. So that, it's going to be a fun talk with Lyle, because Lyle's also incredibly, we are fortunate between Phil, yourself, and Lyle. We're getting like encyclopedias of XC and track, and it's amazing.
Well, and listen, Lyle did a lot of work. He has a book,
did the research
coming out about his time with Wetmore and the years at Bernard. So
he has a cool Facebook page. I think it's at the Polo Grounds. It is right there.
Oh, I can't wait to hear the stories he has about Wetmore and that program and how he built it. And
his book comes out, I think, in January. I think his book, he just finished it. I have, he sent me a copy. I have read almost all of it. It's very well done. It really.
Hey, Lyle, what the hell?
Where's my
copy?
He sent it to us both.
I didn't get one yet.
It's on our Talking in Ovals.
Dave got his signed, and he read the whole
thing. I thought a hard copy.
No.
I wanted a hard copy. No, I knew about that one. I wanted a hard copy. I was mad I didn't get a hard copy.
I have read it, and it really does depict that era of the state, and just like the tough-nosed, hard driven kids, and the training, and how
there's so many differences.
I think they ran like 10 flat, like 3 straight years in a DMR
we had Lyle on the first go, and he had the stories they had where, again, that team would have been competitive in this day and age, which is crazy. That team would have been a competitive team, and that is huge kudos to all the great teams, but that's why they're great. And that's why when you talk about any sport, but the all-time greats compete in every generation, right? Like,
that's why debates are fun, because you can't lace them up and run. So it's all people's opinions, like people who are the 10 best players in this sport? I don't know,
Well, who's pound for pound the best boxer? It's a beauty's in the eye of the beholder. It's the court
of fun to discuss, though. But
I just look at the generationals, and the generationals go across, right? You take LeBron James, you put him back in the 80s, he's still one of the dominant players in the NBA. Sure. He's going to adjust. You take Michael, you bring him here, he's still one of the best players in the league, if not the best player. And Magic Johnson, Hakeem, all of them. You talk, and you can go in anywhere. They will adjust because they're just that damn good.
Runners who ran 70s and 80s, 60s, they would be faster now, just because they would have all the things that these kids have.
Yes.
It would have been, and again, that's the thing too. Everyone likes to debate it, and what would they have done? The all-time greats of yesteryear would have adjusted and been an all-time great. Like, that's in my opinion. They still would have been, there would have been none. They're like, oh, they played against plumbers. Okay, this generation plays against chuckers, okay? Like, if we're being honest, you watch a basketball game, it's a bunch of chuckers. Until the end of the Knicks-Spurs game, it wasn't great. They were just going in and chucking freaking threes.
That's NBA.
Modern NBA just chucks. That's what we're going to say about this generation.
Game. I mean, we can
go and chuck.
We can go on and on about the NBA, but it's a different game.
It is a different. Here's the thing.
Steph Curry changed it.
90s
no centers anymore. Centers don't exist.
Steph Curry changed
uglier,
it.
but it was a better game. For me, I'm an old man. I like the 90s better than now. Young kids are going to yell at me, but
I'm an old head. I grew up with Magic versus Bird. I mean, that was it. Then Jordan and the bad boy Pistons.
I'll put a bow on this, and for any young kid that wants to debate me, because I know we have some ones, the best players are still mid-range monsters. That's all I got to say. The best players in the league outside of Steph still have a great mid-range game. And that's all you need to know. Anyway, let's keep going with track and field here. So, indoor season, who should we be on? Who should we be on the lookout for doing some great things in the indoor season?
Let's start out with the boys. I mean, there's already been some great performances over the first couple of weeks. I mean, Jordan Johnson from East Orange. He did big things last year in the last spring, the 1-2 and the 4. He started out his season with a bang. I mean, he went 21.07, I believe. No, 21.09 in the 200 at Ocean Breeze. That puts him number 4 all time in state history already. I mean, 20.90 being the state record. Mario Heslop, the late Mario Heslop ran a few years back. I mean, that's in his crosshairs now. I mean, he's got a shot at that state record. We mentioned Barrett all through cross country, but what's he going to run in a 2 mile, Dave? I mean, you're running the 1520s at Homedale.
Well, he was last year. He was what 840 something at Arcadia.
843 for 3200. So we're looking at that.
What is the indoor record? 32.
The 2 mile record is 839, 15 by Cheserek.
Is that 2 mile or 32?
That's 2 mile. We did that at Millrose games.
So take off about three seconds for 32.
Yeah. So I mean, he's going to make a run at it. I mean, I don't have any chances he'll indoors to run.
Because being on such a great team, I'm sure he's going to do some DMRs and some 4x8s and some.
Yep. Oh yeah, the DMR. I mean, what is CBA going to run in a DMR? My gosh.
How close does Joe Barrett sniff 4 minutes in indoor? I think he can get pretty close to 4 minutes in indoor in the 16.
I think
he's in great shape.
I think he'll get close. I think
I'm not going to put that kind of pressure on that kid, man.
I think both Joe, future teammates at North Carolina, will both make a run at that mark at the 4-0 low. 4-0 low.
Joe and Luke.
Luke and Joe. I mean,
it's funny because last year
we were in the same race and go after it.
We were talking all about the 3,200, and I think this year, looking at this crop of guys, obviously we're going to have a good group of 3,200, but I'm a little more interested coming off of what, Passion, other ones. The 16 interests me a little more this year. So I think we're going to see a little more fireworks in the 16 than the 32 this year with the group of individuals that were leading the XC group.
I agree. I mean, the 404 Pash ran in that epic duel with Shoot at Meet of Champs.
Yeah.
And then he followed it up with an even faster split in the DMR. A couple days later,
Luke Pash only ran that because I was calling it from the.
And then you have Clay Stevens, who's going to really mix it in. He's coming into his own.
Hell yeah, he's going to mix it in.
Yeah, I think you got a whole group that could be under a big group that could be 410 or faster, and hopefully Pash and Barrett get. It might take an open race at BU to go out and run or something like that.
What, I was just at the new UPenn track on Saturday.
Oh, the Yacht Center! How awesome is that?
It is. Well, the facility itself is fabulous. Fast track, the equipment, the timing system is amazing. Mm-hmm. The downfalls are I think the actual area is smaller than the actual bubble, so it's very, very tight. And we had to walk like 15 minutes there and 15 minutes back to the bus. So, but besides that, it was cool. The throwing area is great. I mean, so fast. But I think it would be great for like an invitational. It's kind of tight for like a everyday meet, but you can run some fast times in there. It is fast.
So Lambert, I'm going to ask you for your first prediction.
Yep.
How many gentlemen go sub 410 this year in indoor?
I mean,
so is it going to be double digits sub 410 this year?
No.
Double
digits? No way.
Listen, I'm trying to narrow it down here. I'm trying to figure it out.
410
is insane.
Indoors,
is fast.
I agree, but I'm just trying to get the numbers narrow.
I usually do shoot a little higher with these predictions, but man,
we thinking 5? What are we thinking?
I'm thinking 1.
Barrett and Cash have a chance.
I'm thinking the over under. If the over under is 5, I'm going under.
Absolutely.
So under. So give me a number. We're thinking possibly Barrett, possibly Luke.
I got Barrett and Pash like 405 and faster. They can get that low. Between,
but we're looking at McMahon. We're looking at Bonilla. We're looking at some of the guys that came.
Well, you have to also remember with CBA, like you're only allowed 3 per event.
Yeah. I mean, 410 is fast.
Indoors that
it is. It is.
I'm sticking with 2. I think it's 2. I think those guys are just on another level than everyone else in the state, and it's not a knock on anyone else because 411, 412 milers are
blazing.
High school indoors is flying.
They used to run away with the meet of champs if you were sub 415.
Oh yeah,
sub 415 used to run away with the meet of champs running that.
Right.
Jesus,
Chris Greer won because he was my teammate. He beat Darnell McLean in the meet of champions in 428.
Yeah.
He won the meet of champs in 428.
I'm so old. I was there at Princeton for that. I'm so old.
I was there too. He was on my team.
Back at those are the great Asbury Park teams. My gosh.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone thinks it was Spooner. That whole program. I mean,
Darnell was good, man. He was tough.
Darnell was great. He would triple every meet. Yeah.
Every meet. He would run the
track. That Princeton track gives me nightmares. That wind tunnel down the home stretch gives me nightmares.
I'm getting way off time, but I still think one of the most impressive performances I've ever seen in a meet was Fred Sharp.
Oh, well, yeah. Yeah, Fred Sharp. I mean, and I asked him, I said, Fred.
And he just ran. He's like, I'm just going to run. I mean, to run the hurdles and the 16 and throw the jab, it was just.
And then throw the 8 and then the 800. And he won the 400 hurdles first event with a meet record. Yep. And he came back.
Paulsboro.
Yep. And then he came back. And the only reason why he didn't win the 1600 also is because he was racing against Slattery and El Muccio.
Right.
Yeah. Jesus.
I mean,
but he still ran like 415 or something like that.
He did. He ran 415. I think it was. Gosh, I can't remember his 400 hurdle time, but I feel like 151 or 152 and he 8 and 415. But
I think it was like 51 or 52.
It was like low 51s. It was a meet record, so it was fast.
That's
crazy. Him and Royce Reed are the 2 best.
Oh, Royce Reed, the bundle of brawn from Bridgeton. My God, that guy was,
I love that.
400 hurdles and then throwing jab.
Everything. He won the meet a champ title in the jab and the 400. I mean, who does that? I'm sorry, 400 hurdles. I mean, who does that? He won. He was the first guy to do the 4.
All I know is that we had to go down to Bridgeton, and I didn't believe that I could still be in the state of New Jersey and be on the bus for that long.
I mean, he won. He was the first one to do the quad. He won the 2. It was a 2-day meet at South Plainfield.
He won the 2, the jab, the 400 hurdles, and the 400.
So it was the 400 hurdles and the jab. I think the first day, and he came back and wait a second. No, I think he tripled on Friday night and then won the 200 the next day. Yeah. 400 hurdles, went through the jab, came back, won the 400 to end the day, and then next day won a 200 in a lean. He beat. I forget who he beat. I think it was someone from Ocean Township at the line. No one could, or Ocean City. I could see the red jersey, and no one could tell. Did Reed get the quad? He just outleaned them.
That might have been. Was it Alex Valencia or who else was there with that? I don't know that year.
Who was the 200? Oh, I could see that. I have.
Was that the Mark Grant maybe from Jackson?
Oh, it could have been the Mark Grant.
Wait,
because he was my year. Mark Grant was my year. So might have been.
They were probably 4 though. Jackson, right?
Oh yeah.
And Bridgeton was 3.
Jackson now is combining their 2 high schools, Liberty and
Liberty Memorial combining now.
What are they going to?
No, they're only going to be Group 3. I think.
Well, they were one for the longest time. For the longest time, Jackson was only one school. Liberty came when right when I was about to be in high school. Liberty became a thing. So that's only 2003. They have not been a high school for very long.
No, they haven't.
So it's not far fetched for them to be like, hey, let's run this back.
Well, I think
now they can be Tom's River North.
They're
like that's it. They're just going to be Tom's River North.
Talk about a solid team. Tom's River North is coming, man. They are rolling.
Oh, they're not just coming. They've arrived.
Rolling.
I mean, what they did last year, and they have a group coming back again. That's going to CBA. We're looking at on the track. North is national competitive this year, and they could be the best overall track team in the state. With just everything they have. Like North, and that might hurt Dave to say, but North may be the best overall track team in the state. They are.
I'm a South guy, but
something
I respect it.
They showed it last year. When they beat CBA to win the conference, and then they, Westfield knocked them off in Group 4. I mean, what a great epic battle that was. But Wait, what were we just talking about before that?
We were talking
I'm
about.
going to find that. I have somewhere my homework assignment now is to find the Star Ledger paper from. We have a picture of when Royce Reed won that 200 to complete the quad. I have to find out who he edged at the line.
I'll do some research.
That had to be 97, right? Because I think that was the year after I left.
Oh, I think it's
you
earlier.
could probably find it on Scullion's timing. Probably.
That's where
well, we're trying to find the picture.
Scullion's timing will have the.
Scullion's will have it, but I think it's definitely before 97. I'm earlier in the 90s than that. Earlier.
No, I don't think so because I graduated in 96 and I think he was after me.
Reed was after you with Ray Wilkes and Lou Gordon, all those guys.
I believe so.
What 1996.
No. Let's see. 1996.
It looks like 1996. I don't know. Let's see. Past results and information.
Yeah,
I'm on it, everyone. I'll get back to everybody. You guys keep going.
That's something we should put together. All the greatest track and field teams.
1997. John Stone won. So you're right. It was earlier. Tyrone Ross won. Hey, Charles Hester was second.
Oh, Charles.
Hurdles.
Yep.
Tyrone Ross won. Anyway, let's get back to winter track.
Oh yeah, we could do a whole flashback to that segment sometime. My gosh, those days were unbelievable. The Bridgeton team, Howard Furtek and Will Barry were the coaches. They were on a whole nother level than the rest of the state back then. Oh, my God. And two guys throwing like the shot 60 feet. They had every event covered.
Lamar Grant was second in 96 to Robert Hargrove from Vineland.
Oh, Hargrove. Yeah. Oh, he was a beast. Well, did Hargrove, I think he won a 1 and a 2 that year in the media champs.
John Stone won the 100.
Oh, Stone. I'm sorry, John. Yep.
Hargrove took third. Wow, just looking at all the legend, I'm like reliving like being a fanboy. Like looking at all the legendary names that are over here. It is crazy. And there's Almuccio in the 16, winning with the 415 with Robinson and Slattery right behind him with 416. Wait, Wilfredo Rivera over there for Oak Ridge.
Oh, Will.
There we go. Big Will.
There's Big Will taking 5th.
Wait, is that do you have the is that the Fred Sharp race? Fred Sharp year?
No, they don't go back prior to 96.
They don't go back prior to 96. They cut it off there.
Yeah. As far back as it goes.
Claphouse over there taking 2nd.
Oh my God.
925.
925 flat to Adam Daniels.
Right behind Adam Daniels, Seton Hall prep there. This is fantastic. The hurdles.
Was that 96?
Wait,
96. Yep.
Wait, what was the year Almuccio edged Tom Horn from Glassboro to get to? Because he was the first guy to win the 3 in a row.
That had to be That had to be 97 because he was or 98 because I think he was 2 years younger than.
Wait, what year, Alex? The results you're looking at, what year is that?
96. Media champions 96.
It has Almuccio's what grade?
It doesn't say the grades on this.
Oh, okay.
Which I was looking for because I wanted to know what year was that. Will's senior year. Wilfredo?
Yes, because that was my senior year.
And wasn't Almuccio a year younger than you?
What's that?
Wasn't Almuccio a year younger than you guys?
1 or 2.
Yeah, so.
Well, that Slattery graduated, then Almuccio. Next year had to be Almuccio against Horn.
1997. No, 97 was Almuccio, Slattery, Sharp.
Okay.
And then Ian Hahn was 7th.
Ian Hahn in 98. I think he won.
Carl Savage, Brian Bennett, Ricky Gibson, Ray Driscoll, Eric Bonnet. This is awesome.
Oh my God! Yeah,
blast from the past, man. Just looking back at this stuff.
People names, are. Boy. I mean, Grant. There is no one who's actually listening now, but
well, no. Ian did win. Ian won senior year. Yeah, Disco and Ryan Smith. He ran a 417. Yeah, and then Steve Slattery taking 2nd behind Campbell.
Slattery, the greatest
in the 2 mile.
Slattery's right up there as far as who's the greatest track and field athlete to not win an outdoor media champ title because he always choose the toughest race. He'd go for the mile. He'd race Almuccio when he probably had he knew he had maybe a better chance of winning the 3,200, but he wanted the challenge of going up against what was the best race.
Dude,
that's I mean, Steve, you're a legend. I mean, 2-time media champ winner in cross, and
I'm looking at a 1998 now.
You got Murad Campbell popping in now, don't you?
John Sulo and 413, Driscoll 416, Baldwin 17, Ed Moran, Kingsbury 20.
How about that 2 mile? Rip that one off.
Murad Campbell 858.
Yep.
And then
meet record at the time.
It was, and then Nate Miller was second in 9:23.
Nate Miller, who won cross country meet a champs.
I jumped ahead real quick because I wanted to look at my senior year. Craig Bories with the 407 winning the 16.
That was the record until.
Wait. What year is this? What year is your senior year?
07, Craig Bories.
Oh, Craig's
he
double.
beat Denny Waite, who was a good runner. Andrew Brodeur is a junior. Christian Gonzalez took 5th there. Christian Gonzalez was a great runner over at Ryder.
Franklin too, right?
Franklin, yeah. Doug Weeks was in that race. The senior, he should have been better. Doug was a better runner.
But then Craig came back in a 2-mile. He sat on Ben Massam the whole race.
He did.
And with like 500 meters, 600 meters to go, hit the gas, went for the long kick, and I came in with like the most epic distance double we've ever seen to meet a champs at the time. It was unbelievable.
And then you have, Charles Cox getting upset in the 400 by Abney with the 47-4. Even though Abney was amazing, I think everyone thought Charles Cox was going to win that one. Charles was amazing.
Yeah. Was Charles Cox Charles Cox at Southern or Monmouth?
Monmouth.
Okay.
That was at Monmouth. And then I'm looking at the 800. Sharif Webb was a monster, 152 from Don Bosco Prep. Matt Poskus there taking 3rd from Cinnaminson. A young Robbie Andrews taking 4th with the 154. Who knows? That guy ended up being okay, I guess. Oh man, we could look at results all day long, but I mean, we're just talking right there. We just rattled off so many great times and great runners that are absolute legends. So let's go back on track because we always get off track. That's
you know what?
This show is for here.
One last thought about talking about legends and all the greats in Jersey. Something I've thought about for a long time, and I mentioned this to Ruben Frank, who's a long-time track and field reporter in South Jersey. I mean, he is the South Jersey historian.
He's a legend.
And I've talked to him, and Paul Schwartz too, another veteran reporter. I mean, I learned from these guys when I broke in a long time ago that there needs to be a New Jersey track and field like Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame, sure.
100%. I don't know why there isn't one already.
There's every other sport. I have friends of mine who covered high school hockey. There's Hall of Fames.
Dave, has to be usually don't the sports writers start those types of things?
That's exactly why. Yeah, well, I wanted to throw it out here. I want to throw it out, on your show here because I want to get some a big push going, for it. And
let's do it. I'm out for that.
I was shocked when I found out there wasn't one years ago, and I just want to kind of throw that out there. Like you mentioned, a lot of
hell do you start? Where do you start?
Well,
it's so hard. Like where do you start?
You have to put 100 people in the first class.
That's
yeah, really, you do.
For men and women, start out with Olympians. It's just Olympians.
Yeah,
boom, and that's going to be how many?
Andrew Valman,
Sidney Sweeney. I'm not Sidney Sweeney.
Sidney Sweeney.
McLaughlin Lavone. I would put Sidney Sweeney in. I just thought Sydney, and that's the first Sydney that comes to mind.
What are you watching? What are you watching over there on the other screen?
Oh my God, I wish. No,
Sidney McLaughlin
Lavone.
Well, you start out Milt Campbell. You can go back. You go right
Robbie
back.
I mean, you got
Carl Lewis, obviously.
Carl Carroll.
Carroll. Anyone who made the Olympic team is automatically in, pretty much. And then you just work from there.
And there's so many. So I want to go in the field wise for the men. Who in the field should we be looking out for with the big performance?
Okay. I mean, this is a great year for the field events in Jersey.
Shot put's already off to a hot start.
63. What's Harris thrown? 63, 8.5.
He threw 63.5 on Saturday. But you also have the St. Rose kid is over 60. CBA's got kids in the high 50s. You got Benji Shu, who's a monster.
I think it's 3 or 4 guys, including there's a polar bear meet in there too. I think you have 3 or 4 guys over 60 already.
Right.
So the competition in the circle is going to be fantastic. You have 3 guys over 15 feet already. In the pole vault.
That's one thing New Jersey always has a good run on is pole vault. Like
it is
pole vaulters are always just they're fantastic.
There's so many pole vault camps though, so that really helps because
that's what it is.
It's so because it's so hard to get out. Like it's been so cold and snowy. Like
we also have
to be your kids almost have to be in some sort of club so that they can just get time to actually jump.
Well, these vaulters are doing it year round. I mean,
absolutely.
That's what it's become now. So seeing 15-foot vaulters early in the season isn't as shocking as it used to be.
Well, we had Matt Ludwig on the show and stuff like that. And, he would talk about how they go to the beach, right? They come to New Jersey every year at Seaside and they do an official event where they go and they seriously jump and
put a runway on the beach. Yep.
Put a runway on the beach and they get a lot of people to be able to see it. We also, what do we have? Marissa Kelsey too. She was on the show as well, and she talked about it, and she goes there, and they say it's a fun event, and it gets a lot of people inspired to sit there and look at it and go, this is freaking sweet. And I feel like when you have that there, you get kids that want to do it. So it definitely helps with the camp as well.
Yeah. I mean, I should mention Owen Keating. He's the leader in the state right now, 15-6.
Yeah.
And the high jump too. I mean, it's going to be a great battle over the bar in the high jump. You have two guys at 6'9" already. Rolando Simpson from Rahway and DeLeon from Highland Regional, both over 6'9". No, I'm sorry. I think Simpson's 6'8" and DeLeon 6'9". But we have not had a 7-foot high jumper in the state
in quite some time, right? Yeah.
It's 2016, and that was outdoors. Indoors, you got to go back to Mark Jones from Summit in 2000. I think it's 2011. Made 7 feet, but
so we could be looking at potentially multiple potential. I mean 6'9" to 7 foot's a long way, but like in the high jump, that's a long way.
It is.
We got, we need to be honest about where we are. These guys can maybe get to 6'10", and that could what we see at mocks. Like that's hard to get. You're getting into elite territory when you're getting at 6'9".
Yeah, it's tough, but 3 inches away, and Marquise Bell, for those at home wondering who the last 7-footer is in Jersey, Marquise Bell, who's now I believe is with the Cowboys right now, playing in the secondary. He graduated from Bridgeton, and in 2016 he made 7 feet. Just a little high jump trivia for everybody out there.
And you hear that, all you high school football players?
All you
high school football players, get out there and run track. You get faster and stronger.
That's right, 100%. But yeah, the field events on the boys' side would be fantastic, but the girls too. I mean, Jessica Oji, national champ last year in the shot. She's already out 51.8. She's already put the the shot out to, and so I mean that state record is way out there, 57.5. I think Alyssa Wilson, but
she was
Alyssa was so good. My God,
I mean, we were really spoiled. We had Alyssa Wilson and Sydney McLaughlin at the same time.
See, I grew up with Deanne Hahn. Deanne Hahn was our stud, and then even from Manchester,
her brother was a stud wrestler too.
Oh my God, yes.
Their father Miles were one of the best.
Damien Hahn and Miles. Oh my God, yeah.
Where did Damien go to? Iowa or Minnesota? I think he was at Iowa. I think Damien went to Iowa to wrestle.
It might have been Ohio State or somewhere big.
What somewhere he was?
I think it was Minnesota.
Minnesota. He was one of the staples. Yeah. But yeah, you have what? God, why am I blanking on her name from Manchester that we had that was dominant? During Kylie's year, we had a shot putter.
Chandler Copeland
was good. Chandler, Chandler was a monster. But yeah, we've been spoiled with the ladies' side as well. With what's going on. But yes, let's continue. Give us their flowers. Who else? Who else on the women's side? What else? What running wise women do we have?
Hannah Bird Leitner from Moorestown. He 13-2 to win outdoor meet champs. So you have to look at that state record. It's 13-5. Danielle O'Reilly from Shawnee, early 2000s, cleared that. No one's really taken a run at that indoor state record, but 13-2. She cleared that outdoors. So I think 13-5.5 is the overall state record. Indoors, outdoors combined. So that's something to keep an eye on. I mean, she's been the best vaulter in the state over the last couple of years. So I mean, there's a lot of great field events to look at. I mean, we didn't even get into some of the fireworks for the girls on the track. I mean, you got Taylor Cox coming back. What do
we got for the ladies on the track?
Yeah, I mean, indoors, outdoors. She won, the high hurdles. She's run 776 already this season, or PR 773. So the state record there is 7.60. Sydney McLaughlin ran that her sophomore year. I think that was in an en route time in the 60 when she won New Balance Nationals. But Taylor Cox has got that in her sights. I mean, that's a record that could go. You probably asked me for some predictions, and that could be one of them that I put out there. And
so Taylor Cox breaks.
I think Cox can get under 760 for sure. I definitely wouldn't put it past her. And Shepard's already run 444 and change. So that state record is on thin ice right there, which
and
Lily Shapiro.
She did that at the new Lawrenceville track, which is supposed to be
the brand new track at Lawrenceville, the Parade Invitational.
Is that an official prediction? Paige breaking the 1600 meter record?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah. I believe it's 440. I mean, you got to go with the conversion. It's 445 something by Shapiro, Lily Shapiro.
For the full mile?
For the full mile. So
about 1.5 seconds.
So 443 high. Right?
Somewhere.
somewhere around 44, 43.7, somewhere.
Well, she's at 44 now, so she's well on her way.
I mean, that's not too. I'm really not going out too much on a limb there for that prediction, but
I mean, the Taylor Cox one's going to be tough. Sub 7.6.
Yeah, it's tough. Yep.
But like you said, she's 7.76 now. So
yep, and 7.73 last year. So
yeah.
I mean, that's just a matter of a little quicker start and a little quicker finish, and she'll get it. I mean, I
forgot to do this, but I wanted to give a shout out to Clemmy Lilly for going to Stanford.
Yeah. Yes. Congrats, Clemmy.
Yeah. I mean, how deep? Oh my gosh, we get into the middle distance. I mean, the 800 is gonna be ridiculous. I mean, Clemmy's 205 last year. That's one of the predictions I think we did last spring for how many sub 210s that I just missed.
Yeah, I think you barely missed that one.
Yep. I mean,
listen, anything that Leah's in, count her in. Okay. Any race that Leah may run, Leah Starkey from Ocean, don't let her do it to you again in these predictions. Let's find out. I'll talk to Lynch and I'll see what she's gonna run, what she's gonna focus on, just so you can always include her.
Yes. But the 800. Obviously, Clemmy Lee, Paige Shepard, if she runs the 800, she's going to go 2-0 low. She has teammates that can run that fast too. I mean, Jamia King, Sophia Thompson. I'm missing someone. Oh, Reagan Moore from Oak Knoll. She won Meet a Champs outdoors as a freshman, 207 something. If Natalie Dumas from Eastern runs the 8, I mean, she can run everything, and she's
a 400 hurdler too.
Look what she did to Meet a Champs last year. I mean, 400 hurdles, 400, and anchored the winning 4x4, and then won nationals in the 400 hurdles. I think she was, and then had a 214 in the 800.
Yeah, the 800 on the girls' side is bonkers.
It is.
It
and
is.
And it's going to see too, it's like, I think the one thing that's fun about this current generation, because of all like the knowledge that's out there, they don't dodge each other as much. I don't think, because there is all the information. They're all so connected. They all do want to run against each other. So I think we will see the 800 get a little stacked, because I don't think any of these girls are going to back down.
No,
they're not going to sit there and I think you might see
16 and that they might choose other events.
If I'm Paige Shepard and I have a chance to break the record at some point, because I really haven't run it much, I'm going to go do that. Right. But I mean, if Paige is looking at it going, I ran a 208 this year, just, at a meet, just running it. Right. I can go after this Meet of Champs and maybe get, something ridiculous. Let's go race, Clemmy. Like, I would love to see Paige and Clemmy battle in the 800 for the Meet of Champs.
Great. That's the race we've all been waiting to see.
Yeah,
that's the one we've been waiting to see for the last couple of years, and eventually we'll see them, clash for hopefully the Meet of Champs. But
where's Lilia Gordon fitting into all this year in the indoor?
I think this is her year to win that.
You're going to win at 32.
Yep. I mean, gosh, talk about close races. I mean, last year she had that great battle with Shea from Middletown South.
Yep. Yes.
Just lost by inches at the line, pretty much. Second to Paige at Meet of Champs and Cross. It reminds me a lot of Kate D'Souza from Red Bank Catholic a couple years ago.
RBC,
a lot of real close runner-up finishes, and finally she got hers. Elusive title at indoors in the 3200. I think you can see the same thing with.
I'm making that an official prediction. Lilia Gordon wins the 3200.
Put it down. Lock.
Me too.
Lock of the year. One of the locks of the year. There's a few.
All right, so let's go into any surprises that we should be looking out there for. Anyone that you see that's kind of, like maybe even in the early meets bubbling, that you think is going to be in the conversation at the end of the year. Maybe not Meet a Champs champion, but getting to the Meet a Champs, being effective, breaking in.
Oh, boy. Well, there's a name you got to keep an eye on. It's Javon Legister from St. Peter's Prep. Freshman sprinter, just ran the second fastest freshman times in state history. 6:54 and 22, I think 40 something.
Wow.
Come on. You remember his brother a couple years ago, Fitzroy Legister, graduated 3 or 4 years ago. There's a guy that should be a factor in in all the state races, and you got to keep an eye on the state, the state record book, the class record book. So
sure,
it's unusual to get someone that talented on the boys' side that young. I mean, it's hard. It's hard for freshmen to be. We're talking about what Jack Tyndall's has done. It's hard for boys to.
Oh yeah,
it's very rare. And and Tyndall. I mean, he actually was texting with Steve Shackley, the Cherokee coach, today because I know Jack got banged up, like I mentioned earlier, at the end of the season. He just started racing. I'm happy to report that he just started running again yesterday.
Good.
They're targeting a race for him, hopefully late January. But look out, the state freshman record book with Jack Tyndall, because it's 4:16. Jeremy Zagorski, remember him back in
from
Parsippany Hills, 2000.
Hills, yep.
2001, I believe, was his freshman year, 4:16 and change.
He was good.
And the 2 mile record is a little tougher. Rosa ran 9:11 his freshman year, but yeah, I'll put that. That's another one you can mark down right now. Put this in the in the vault and lock it up. That Tyndall's going to destroy that 4:16 freshman.
I'm putting destroys 4:16.
I mean, he broke it already as an 8th grader. So I mean, come on, it's it's not.
Does he get the 32 freshman record too?
9:11. Ooh, man, that is fast.
That would just be being really mean to the Rosas. Like
he did run 15:55
in the.
He beat Foriso in XC.
I mean,
but I'm just saying, Rosa was number 2 there, so I'd just be really mean.
I mean, if you can run, under
55, I mean, he's right there.
I mean, how many guys that have broken 16 at Homedale haven't broken 9:10? I mean, there's got
to be some sort of correlation there. Yeah.
No, there's a pretty good chart of what guys can do at Homedale, how that should.
It does correlate really well.
It does. So if he's healthy and looks like he is now, and goes after will he get them both? Yeah. Jack Tyndall's getting them both.
Wow.
Yep. Sorry, Joe Rosa. I love you, but records are made to be broken.
Listen, every kid.
Jack Tyndall's a record-breaking machine. I mean, if you can break a Craig Forrest and a Joe Rosa Homedale freshman record, you can run 9:10.
No, you don't just break it. He beat it by 20 seconds.
Beat it by 20 seconds. Yeah.
So I mean, that's
And what was Joe's record again?
9:11 something.
That's fast, man.
Wow. 9:11. Yeah, something like that.
Now here comes the thing that with Jack Tyndall that it's tough again, right? We talk about with the target on your back. You do this as Jack Tyndall, indoor year. The expectations start outdoor already. Like the expectations are there after your great XC season.
Yeah.
But you were there, you were a freshman. XC, it's a little bit easier to hide because the rankings, you're in the shuffle there. Yeah, you're top 15. That's great. But we're looking at Joe Barrett. We're looking at Clay Stevens. Like Jack did a great thing. But now when you're doing sub 4:16, you're doing sub 9:11. Now you're entering into like already senior, junior echelon. You're competing at mocks heavily. You're someone that probably isn't going to win, but Joe Barrett's going to look over his shoulder if you're in his race. He's going to be like, let me just make sure these freaking freshmen nowhere near me. Like that's what so it's one of those things where you're looking at expectations. It's like, I would love for Jack to do it, but Jesus, Cherokee coach would have his friggin' everything cut out for him after that, because that becomes now managing expectations as well.
Yeah, but I mean, listen, Coach Shackley has coached some monsters, so he's very, very, very
absolutely.
Well, it's set up great for someone like Jack Tyndall. You mentioned all the great runners that'll be ahead of him or in that lead pack, and no one's expecting him to beat these guys.
And he can learn from
hook onto that train, and you're gonna be dropping some big PRs. I mean,
and he's gonna gain so much experience. It's just gonna be
he'll
fantastic.
remind me, if he does that, of what Andrew Brodeur did his freshman year with Matt Dahl and some of the other seniors that were so strong. When I was a sophomore, where Brodeur was just coming through, and I think he ran like a 4:20, like a 4:21 as a freshman, and was 9:15, 9:20, like insane numbers for a freshman. And Andrew Brodeur obviously had a great career, went to Duke, was fantastic there. But it was like, I could see him very much having that group, and that's always, being a great freshman is always nice, right?
What's crazy? As we're talking about great freshmen and talking about Zagorski earlier, who has the state freshman 1600 record.
Yeah.
And we talked about Craig Forrest and all his records. I just had a flashback, and I get a lot of these at my age. Craig Forrest once held the national 3200 record.
Yes, he did.
9:20 and change, and it was in a race against Zagorski at Princeton. And now the state record for freshmen is 9:11.
Right.
And we're going back not even 20 years ago, 9:20 was the national record. I mean, look how far we've come.
It's crazy.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's crazy. I remember when Craig did that. I remember when Craig did that. Like I was a freshman as well.
Everyone forgets who won the race because of what Craig did.
Yeah.
No one cared.
No one cared. What Craig did was incredible.
The way the runners in the state just keep leveling up every year. You mentioned it before. Great athletes graduate, all-time greats, and you think, oh, now what? And then there's always a group that comes in, and the bar keeps getting raised higher and higher, and that's why these records keep falling.
All right, so we're gonna jump in a little bit more. So right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 predictions. We have 3 for the boys, 3 for the girls. We have 2 boys under 410 for the 16. Taylor Cox breaking the record, 7.6. Sydney's record there, not Sydney Sweeney, Sydney McLaughlin-Lavone. We have Paige Shepard breaking the 1600 record, Lilia Gordon winning the 32 in mocks, Jack Tyndall breaking both the freshman records for the mile and the 2 mile for 16 and 32. Anything else to add?
Oh, I think there's going to be a few more. Well, just real quick with Shepard, she already has the 1600 record. Now she's trying to get the mile record.
Mile record.
Oh, mile. So okay, sorry about that.
So how many boys over 60 in the shot?
Like I said, I think we have 4 already. So,
and I don't think Shu has thrown yet, right?
I'm not going to see him until
Nationals, right?
Yeah,
Nats, right?
Yeah. So add him there, obviously. 60. There's a couple guys at 50. I'm going to say we get, with Shu included, 7.
7.
I think there's a couple at 58 right now. I know there is. There's a couple.
That's a good number. 7 over 60 in the shot.
Yeah. 7 over 60. You have
that's the magic number right there.
Del Martin's at 59. Wilton from Princeton. Yeah, 7. 7's a good number.
I like that. What else we
got?
got?
That is assuming Benji throws at nationals, right?
Right. Yeah.
I can't see him not throwing at nationals.
I don't either.
I can't. I definitely see him throwing at Nats.
Yeah.
After Benji's going to go to Atlantic City, win a championship on the mat, and then he's going to throw at Nats and win Nats. He's going to have he's going to have the 2-sport double right there.
Talk about all-time great athletes in state history. When you look at all the sports across the board,
we had him on this show.
We had him on the show, football and everything, and he's so dedicated to all of them.
It's time he gets mentioned more with the all-time multi-sport greats to do what he's done at that level on the football field, on the mat, and in the circle. I mean,
if you're going to talk
combination is unheard of.
If you're going to talk about the New Jersey Hall of Famers in general, like he is a New Jersey sports Hall of Famer.
Oh, no doubt.
First ballot. Overall, first ballot.
First ballot slam dunk.
Enshrined as a great, because he's one of the best we've ever seen in terms of athletics. And again, big guys like him don't get as much of their due. The linemen and but he deserves it. And like you said, he should be first ballot whenever the eligibility hits. Get Benji Shu's name enshrined in New Jersey history.
He's in the first class of 130 that Jim is going to put in the
131 now. Yeah. I mean, he's definitely one of the first ones through the door.
So that's a prediction that Benji's going to become an Olympian right there, so he can be the automatic. We're going to get Benji in the Olympics.
Put it down. Lock it up.
Is that a prediction? That's an overall. Benji Shu is going to be an Olympian from Texas.
Hey, you know what?
He's got
really could be. Like
he has all the talent in the world.
He's national champ.
Drive in the world. He has the great coaching. He has everything going for him.
To a great program in Texas.
I actually think playing more than one sport is going to help him. It'll help his footwork. It'll help so many things. Just a
lineman and a wrestler, his footwork is going to be immaculate. It's one of the reasons, and it's one of the things that all athletes can learn. Be a multi-sport athlete. Like obviously, distance runners are a little bit different. You got to put the mileage in.
They run 3 outdoor. They run 3 sports: cross country, winter track, street track.
They run. Okay, but if you're not just a runner, go do something else. If you're a sprinter.
Listen,
do indoor and outdoor, but go do something.
Do you know how many kids I see who are lifting on their own in the winter and spring?
Yes.
What does that last? About 2 weeks? Like, get out for, I don't care if it's track. I mean, I would
go
love
do
it.
Basketball, go do volleyball, whatever it is. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Go wrestle. Go do something. Go get tougher. It helps.
I mean, how many distance runners started out as great soccer players, and they just, they run indoors to stay in shape.
How many cross-country guys
wrestle? All the midfielders. Poach
so many kids wrestle.
Yeah. No. How many high jumpers are playing basketball, or even, football players?
I am seeing a lot more basketball players become long jumpers and high jumpers and triple jumpers. That is definitely something that is increased over the last few years, big time.
Well, one of the things that when I coached a little bit, I'd say to some of our great basketball players, and don't get me wrong, Manchester, we've had a bunch of 1,000-point scorers, some really good teams, really good athletes. Shout out tonight, Aiden Lund got 39 points, almost 5 points away from the school record. Was incredible tonight, carried the team. But I would say to them, be like, you play AAU. How many guys can shoot a three? A lot. How many guys can dunk? All of them. How many guys can do this? Every single one. How many guys can do what you do? How many guys can jump over 6'5"? Not a lot. And you do. Like, where are you? Like, this is where you should be. You're going to get a full ride for this. You're going to end up in Turkey to go play pro ball if you want to. Don't get me wrong. Turkey's good, but it's like you could be at a major school, big time D1, Power 4 school.
I do think kids are starting to go the track route more than they have in the past.
Thank you to Noah Lyles for really being a loudmouth and getting noticed. Thank you, Sha'Carri Richardson, for being noticed. Thank you, Usain Bolt, 20 years ago, for getting the sport notice. It's the guys and girls with the big mouths and showmanship that get this sport notice. I know we hate it as trackies because we like to be baseball guys and do your job, walk off the track. Hell no. Get out there, know you're the best, go be the best, and let everyone know you are. That is always my thing.
I want to follow up on something you said before about multi-sport athletes and get out there and do other things. And I started thinking about some of the best we've had who've done that. I mean, Layla Giordano, one of the best throwers we've ever had in state history, national champion of discus, now at Princeton. I mean, she, all-state volleyball player.
How about Ron Dane? How about Ron Dane?
Ron Dane. Yeah. Great Heisman Trophy winner and one of the great discus throwers of all time. And
I remember they had to move. I remember he hit the fence in South Plainfield because.
Yes, he did. Yep, he sure did.
I'll give Ron Dane. He wasn't what he was supposed to be in the NFL, but he was a good running back. He wasn't a great running back, but he was a good running back. Him and Tiki were great. Guy. He was a tough guy. He got those short yards, and when Tiki was fumbling for the first 3 years of his career, they handed the ball more to Ron because he wasn't fumbling the ball.
Right, he's another guy that I felt had Olympic material written all over him. I mean, he was a raw talent coming out for track, and if he had gone, I mean, a lot of people say it. A lot of the college coaches would tell you that, and I bet you Ron would tell you that too. That that he probably could have become an Olympian. In the distance.
Well, and initially Andrew Valman was a multi-sport athlete. Andrew Valman didn't really start. I think he started his sophomore year, maybe, when, you can ask John Musoff. John Musoff was one of the ones going, what are you doing playing basketball? You're fast. Stop it. And John, we love John Musoff. He started the indoor program over at Manchester.
Yeah.
But, again, there's a lot of these guys and girls that go, and it's good to do other sports. You get tougher doing other sports. If you just hammer your sport away, you can get the injuries that come with just doing your sport all the time. And, sometimes you don't get that mental fortitude because you're only doing one thing. So I encourage, as much as there's a track show, I encourage doing other sports.
Talk about tough guys doing multiple sports. How many guys have won a cross-country meet a champion title and recorded 100 or more wins on the wrestling mat?
Oh, I have no idea.
They won.
That's crazy trivia.
Yeah, it happened.
Got to be a very light kid, like a cross country.
Yeah, cross country runner. Yep, he was a lightweight, and I remember when I found that he wrestled, I'm like, oh, how good is he? I was like, oh, he just got his 100th victory. I'm like, oh my god, the guy just won the meet of champions, and then he comes on the mat and gets his 100th victory in wrestling. Like, who even does that? Who was that? It happened in the last 10 years.
I don't even know.
10 years. Any guesses? South Jersey, great distance running program.
No, I'm at a loss.
Yep, this is one of my favorite all-time trivia questions. How many people out there? I really wish we could have people pop up and say
we certainly can
know the answer.
We can if they comment. Anyone watching that wants to comment. If you have a guest, we'll give you a minute or so.
Won the meet
I don't think they can really Google that one. I don't think it's going to come up.
Won the meet champion cross country and then won out. So
meet a champion cross country winner.
They weren't state champion in wrestling, but they won 100 matches.
Well, over 100 victories on the wrestling mat, and
South
he won.
Jersey. It's got to be like
and he won the cross country meet a champion title.
It's got to be like a charity or something.
Nope.
Who do we got, Jim? Who is it?
Or like Paul the
Josh
Sixth
Clark.
or
Josh
Paul's
Clark from Highland Regional.
Highland,
really?
I believe it was 2015. Josh won the media champs at cross country. And, hey, a couple people commenting. No clue. But yeah, Josh Clark. I was shocked when I got that. I'm like, I'm going to write this story up right now, and I'm going to say it's never happened before. And if I'm wrong, come get me, beat me up, pin me, put me in put me in a
shave his mustache.
I'm wrong. I'll shave half the stash and then walk around like that. But no, it's never happened before.
That's a great trivia question. I mean,
that is fantastic.
I mean, how many cross country media champion winners have even gone out for wrestling? That's probably zero.
Not a media champs winner, but I mean, I know there are a lot of.
I mean, how many media champ? We don't have a lot of media champ winners.
No,
we're going back to 76, whatever. I mean, I'm sorry, 72.
There are a lot of wrestlers who run cross country, but not at that.
A media champion winner, the very best guy.
That's insane.
I mean,
and that's gotta be one of those things. As a coach, you're looking at that going, how am I going to tell you to come run indoor? You're a fantastic wrestler. Like, how am I going to actually look you in the face and say, you're one of the best wrestlers in our school? Don't do it.
Well, I don't think no matter what Joe Barrett said to McCafferty or to Carl Torsha that he would get on a mat. I don't think there'd be any chance of that happening.
Now here's the question: how many people who won XC MOC didn't run winter track?
Didn't run,
right? I mean, you would think if they won XC.
I mean,
what's surprising? He wrestled 138. He wasn't
just that kid. Is he the only one to not run winter after?
Winning? There's got to be.
After winning.
I mean,
there's got to be. There has to be.
There has to be someone who played basketball.
Has to be, or and
then run indoors, especially going way back when.
When
it was a little more common.
Yeah,
when being a 3-sport distance runner wasn't as big as
I'm
it
just
is
curious,
now. Indoors, because indoors. I mean, go back to the 70s. Indoors wasn't what it is now. Obviously.
No, even when I ran in the 90s, like we didn't go as many places because we had to run at Red Bank or like just crappy places that you did not want to run.
I'm gonna find another boys cross country winner, or girls too. I mean, Erin Donahue.
Was
a great example. I mean, all time great. She played basketball till her senior year. She 3 years of basketball.
I know.
I think she may have been 1,000-point scorer in her career. I mean, talk about multi-sport studs.
She's in the Hall of Fame too.
I'm looking up stuff on Josh Clark. He was good. I don't know what year this was. A 132. He was 11-3. He was always in like the names for all the big that's
a cool stat.
Him. That's freaking awesome.
That's one of my favorite stats of all time.
Talented kid.
This year,
his senior year, he probably, I don't know if he got to the region and how far he went, but I mean, you get 100 wins, you're pretty good.
Have we ever had anyone win the state wrestling title, then come back and win the national discus title? Because that's what we might have this year.
Yeah, it's true.
It's just these athletes now are just they're just so focused, and it's amazing when we have a high school kid on our show. I can't their poise is amazing. Like I would have been a bumbling fool. Talking to someone in high school. Like they just.
And they
have such poise.
I want to give a quick shout out to Track Mercer for even commenting. Thank you, Track Mercer.
Yeah, thanks for appreciate you. In tuned. That's another prediction. Shoe is getting that double. Put it down. Double Shoe. Shoe for 2.
He's going to win He's going to win. I don't think they call it maybe a chance. What is it?
It's a tournament. It's the wrestling tournament champion.
Yeah.
Wins in AC. Man. Oh my God. I used to love going there. I think I went 1 year to watch Jimmy Lawson do it. I didn't go. And Jimmy Lawson, one of the best wrestlers in the history of the state, national champion. 3 straight heavyweight and a national champion. Wrestled at Penn State his final 2 years. Gonna break into the UFC at some point. Doing good things in MMA. But Jimmy's a monster, and the event at AC is just what they do right there. It feels so pro level. Like it is so awesome what they put on there. It's one of the most. Again, Jersey does things the right way when it comes to the championships. So fun.
I had a chance to cover that meet several years when I was working at the Star Ledger and NJ.com.
It's impressive,
and it's definitely by far one of the greatest high school sporting events there is. Period.
Yeah,
I mean, we talk about. I mean, how great the state is in track and field and cross country. It's just as good and as deep in wrestling.
The energy
it's unbelievable. The D1 wrestlers that come out of the state
at any wrestling match is intense.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
it
Well,
could be
look
just
at
local.
look
You
at
know,
what they're doing in Rutgers. Look at what
Yeah.
Coach Goodell's able to do in Rutgers.
Yeah.
He's doing great things,
because
keeping
he's
talent
keeping
home.
talent from New Jersey. Yeah.
You know, it started with getting, and I remember when he first got there, and Scott Winston was the guy from Jackson, and Scott was amazing, and he got Scott to commit, and that was
Then you had
massive for the
Ashnault, you
program.
know, winning
Ashnault, Suriano.
Oh my God.
Suriano. Yeah.
Yeah, Sirianni, and he keeps on going because Rutgers still keeps on going, doing great things.
I mean, Siriano, I was in Atlantic City for that. For Siriano,
So good.
going for the record. And it was a rock star. You talk about a kid with pressure and expectations, and he leveled up every single time. And I mean, talk about all-time greats and going in Hall of Fames. I mean,
Yes.
he was the ultimate warrior, that kid.
And one of the differences is too that I think you see a lot, especially in wrestling. I know we're getting off on a tangent here, but when guys in wrestling see that, they don't go. Soriano, he's a different talent, but none of those guys sat there and looked at him. They were in AC. None of them looked at him and said he's going to kill me. They looked at him and said, "I don't give a crap about his title. I'm going to beat him. I want to make sure I break this. I want to make sure he doesn't get the record." Now, obviously, he was a man amongst boys, but no one's backing down there. It's awesome to see. So much fun. And same thing on the track too.
Nick Suriano, he could have been an all-state cross-country runner. I guarantee you that kid.
The amount of those guys, my God.
The amount of running he did, and yeah, those guys. There's a few wrestlers out there that could definitely be dropping sub-16s at Homedale.
Should that be an event? Should we do like a wrestling 5K?
100%.
A wrestlers 5K, like the end of XC. Get a bunch of the wrestlers to come on. You'll see some guys going to Homedale dropping sub friggin' 1630 and something like that. Something insane.
or how about
and watch Benji shoot. Watch Benji shoot come out and win that too. He'll
and how about the reverse of that? We have to get the cross country studs to come out and wrestle each other.
I mean, listen, back in my day, we did a good amount of wrestling on distance run. So I think a few of us would have been able to come out there and sorry, Coach Chef. Sorry, Coach Resch. You didn't hear that.
I mean, Joe Barrett trotting out there against Max Bonisia from Elizabeth. They're probably around the, you got to look at the weight classes and things like that.
I got Clay. Clay's put together, man.
You got to look at the weight class. You got to watch the weight classes. Obviously, you can't sit there and mesh up some of the bigger distance runners with the smaller
I got Clay.
ones.
He's stout.
Who's wrestling Clay though? Clay's big. Like Clay might be on it. He might be the heavyweight of XC with his he's built.
he would be like the kid. He would be like Matthew Modine's character in Vision Quest. He would just be taking on everybody.
Vision Quest, such a great movie.
Oh, yeah.
Lunatic Fringe is such a freaking good song. That song is like a theme song whenever I want to get angry and do something. Is
loud and Swain. Loud and Swain.
God. All right.
So Jim,
more predictions. I got more. You want them?
Okay.
Give us more.
Let's go.
We didn't throw any relay predictions out there.
Oh, let's. I mean, all right. What is CBA DMR?
I think both DMR state records go down, boys and girls.
Ooh,
put it down.
So who gets the CBA gets the boys one?
CBA gets the boys. It's 953 and change by Ridge. Jackson Barna anchored back in
a couple years
2022. Ago. Great battle with Shane Brosnan from UC. They went like 954 in that race. Crazy.
And are we saying Union Catholic gets the girls one?
Yeah, I mean, I crunched some numbers the other day, and I didn't even have to get to the anchor to realize like that's going to get blown away. It's 11:41. Jill Smith anchored the Southern team back in.
Her and Toro were.
And we had Danielle on the show. Joe, we're coming after you. You're coming on the show too.
Yeah,
and also, Coach McCafferty, if you're still watching this long, we did the Westfield boys last year. At some point this year, the CBA XC group is coming on the show. We're going to have a nice roundtable. You're obviously going to be with us, Sean, but we want to have that group because, again, we gave Westfield their flowers last year. If we have any other great teams, we want to give you your flowers on the show. So we want that group, that top 7, top 10, whatever you want. Your team, whoever was your varsity, get them on here. We want to set it up, Sean. Yeah. So that's what else we got? So we got CBA breaking boys DMR, UC breaking girls DMR. Do we got any sprint records going down? Any 4x4s? Anything like that?
Sprint records. No, I mean, we graduated on the boys' side, graduated the state record holder in the 55 dash and Johnny Dwyer and the hurdles with his teammate, Yeshua Brown.
You don't think Tom Zimmer has a chance at getting something there in North?
Oh,
they had a really good 4x4 last year.
They're going to run fast.
They are going to drop some fast times. I mean, record-wise, though, but
it's tough, man. It's tough
I
to.
mean, I don't. I don't like to say no when it comes to like someone breaking a record, but those are really out there.
What is the 4x4 guys record? Was it
3?
3? I mean, sorry.
Seton Hall Prep finally broke it. Union Catholic had it with Taylor McLaughlin about 10, 12 years ago.
How good Taylor was in high school, man.
Oh,
he was
gosh,
such
yeah.
a freak.
Yeah,
like he was so like we all think about Sydney, but God, Taylor was so good. He's a New Jersey legend. Speaking of New Jersey legends, Taylor
right in the Hall of first ballot Hall of Famer.
Hell yeah.
We're gonna have a class of about 400 in the inaugural class.
That's right. That's right.
Anyone that's ever ran track in New Jersey, you're in the Hall of Fame.
He pulled off the quad at the group meet. Both hurdles, the 2 and the 4. But they had the record for a while. Seton Hall Prep, Xavier Donaldson, Machulonis, that crew.
It's fast.
What they run? 14.
It's got to be like sub 3:15.
It is. It's 14 something. That was a crazy race. You can look this one up.
3:14 indoors is.
They were DQ'd. They were DQ'd, and they were running against Pennsauken. It was a Jersey battle at Ocean Breeze. They got DQ'd. They put in an appeal, got shot down, went to another appeal, went back and forth. We won, we lost, we won, we lost. Boom! Finally, they won. It was bizarre. I think it was 2 or 3 years ago, but Townsville North, they got a shot. That's fast indoors. That's moving.
So we won't go there. We're not going to put that on the book.
I'm not going there with that one. Another prediction.
You don't need to listen. We're at 9, I think, or 10 right now. We have a good amount.
Got to get 10.
We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now we have 10.
Did I give you? Did I go with Johnson in the break the 200 state record?
No.
There you go. Jordan Johnson breaks Heslop's 200 state record of 20.90.
Whew.
Johnson breaks 200.
Like that one?
Now
20.90. Okay, that's it. We're locking in that because I'll consider Tyndall's as one together.
Do you feel that obviously we're getting more?
Legislature, the freshman from St. Peter's Prep is going to break both freshman records in the dash and a 200 also. We put that
do you
down.
think that
11, 12, a dozen, whatever. I'm sorry, Dave.
Do you think that we're seeing more and more records broken because of the tracks? Like because they're just so much faster. Like like someone running in the 80s and 90s.
I mean, it's a factor. It's everyone knows it's a factor. I mean, there's several things that go into it.
Training's better too.
Training's better. Tracks are better. More indoors, especially the opportunities
are better
now.
Indoors, the premier season right now.
And there's more tracks
between the Northeast.
More tracks,
running more races in indoor than you are in outdoor typically.
The spikes. I mean, everything is a contributor.
Well, you can wear spikes at more places in indoor than you used to back then too. You used to have to wear the waffle racers a lot of places. Yes. I remember, unless you were going over to the Armory and for us, or you were taking the trip to BU, you were in flats. You're running on that freaking flat track at Princeton wearing the waffles, or you're going up. For me, it was Jersey City Armory wearing the waffle racers. Like a lot of places didn't let you wear spikes, or we were going to freaking Red Bank Catholic on a gym floor. You're not wearing spikes there, so it's like. Yep. You had very few opportunities, and you had to be a really good runner if you were going to go. There was no Ocean Breeze, there wasn't any of these other places that were giving you the opportunity.
There wasn't even the bubble when I was in school.
Well,
I had the bubble, and they didn't let you wear spikes in the bubble.
What do you wear? What do you wear at the bubble? Like basically like thumbtacks on the bottom.
It's better than nothing. Again, I was wearing waffle racers, man. Like it's I'd much rather wear an 8th than a waffle racer.
I mean, listen, the bubble for what it is great. It's getting a little outdated, but if
should have never locked up Ritako, damn it. If they wanted to put a bank in there.
Free Ritako.
Free Ritako. Let him start putting money back in the top of North Sports.
Free tacos for anyone that can get Ritako freed.
Oh my God.
For free tacos.
Biden, pardon Ritako. I don't know if you can. It's not federal, but do it.
But Dave, you hit it on the head. It served its purpose, the Bennett Center. It came around at a time where we desperately needed something.
Listen, if they had that when I was in high school, it would have been the greatest thing ever.
Yeah.
Yep,
I know. But the armory becoming the armory
changed everything.
Changed everything.
But here's
once it went banked and it to just change everything. Absolutely.
Yep.
But here's the bottom line, and here are the things that they do need to look towards. Like, and we're getting up to it. We're going to be ending it soon. This is something where we need to petition our state governments. Obviously, I'm in New York, so I'm different. I'm spoiled. I have Ocean Breeze. I'm cool, right? But for like New Jersey
and the Armory,
and we have the Armory. Where is the premier track for you guys to do things? You're running Meet a Champs and Ocean Breeze. It's like, this is something where the state of New Jersey needs to look into it and say, this is where taxpayer money going towards, because it's going to make its money back quickly. If we do, so say, okay, let's knock the Bennett Center down, but Tom's River is a great central place. Let's knock it down. There's still space there to do things, right? It's not like there's no space around it. Let's rebuild the Bennett Center, make it bigger, make it better, make it like Ocean Breeze, make it a legitimate spot for track and field. And let's bring everyone to Tom's River, and it'll pay itself off within a year, easily.
You need somebody, a big track name, who has money that can
back it.
Back it, political ties, everything. I mean, you're right. We don't have that in state. We have to leave our state to go to the Meet of Champions, which some people don't like that. I feel like the athletes deserve to be on the best, performing the best facility possible for the biggest meets. I don't care where you have to go. I mean, Bergen County goes over to the Armory all the time, Passaic County, whatever. Who cares? We don't have it. We don't have it. You got to go where you can.
Dave, we have to get in touch with Zig Ziglar again, and we need to say he needs to put one of his big 400 meter, 200 meter ones inside of New Jersey somewhere. What he's doing in Vegas, he wants to go down to the South and do it there as well. I mean, he could be, if he puts something like that in Jersey in the Northeast, a big 400 meter indoor track with a 200 meter banked inside. My God, that would be amazing. Listen, I know Zig Ziglar with the Z Athlete Village wants to make that a countrywide thing and eventually do have like a whole entire Z circuit. So that would be amazing.
Like you said, I mean, it's a great investment. You're going to get your money back. And this is quickly. All the meets are going to be. Everyone's going to come there all over the country. You get national meets on all levels. It's going to host everything if you build a facility like that. If you build it, they will come, right?
Yeah. No, really, in terms of track, if you build it, they will absolutely come. And I think people need to realize more. It's not like, I'm not going to get pros. You don't need pros. You're going to get every single high school meet within 3 states to come to you if you do the right thing. Like, look at, why do you think New Balance built an indoor facility right near one of the greatest indoor facilities in the country in BU? Because they knew there's plenty of mouths to feed. And if you build it well, which New Balance, from everything I heard, that Boston facility in New Balance is gorgeous. Mm-hmm. So, we'll see what goes on. Dave's having some technical difficulties right now. He'll be popping back in. Hopefully, he says he doesn't have any sound. But we are going to wrap this up soon. Let me just tell Dave we're about to wrap it up soon. The beauty of being live and on a podcast. I'm texting. Well, sorry, everyone. Great podcast hosting.
I think Dave said something about having a second Christmas with his daughters. I think he's wrapping some gifts right now.
He might be. I mean, listen, I was up to the last second wrapping too. Like, it happens. You just get up to it.
I'm still going.
There you go. Do I have mine? I think mine is in my closet right over there. So, but all right, Jim, it is always fun to have you on. It's always worth the wait to have you on if you have things to do. Obviously, you're busy over at, UC and things like that. But you are just, the knowledge you have, the names you drop. And, one of the things that I always enjoy when we have you on, yes, we talk about a lot of the top individuals, but we also talk about top individuals and some of the lesser known or lesser kind of recognized events. And you really give an opportunity with your writing, which is always spectacular, but also when you come on the show to give shout outs to some of these individuals who maybe don't get them in this space. So I love what you do and all the names you bring on. That's why I love asking you, like, who should we look out for? Where should we go? Because you do have all this knowledge. So we absolutely appreciate everything you do.
I appreciate you giving the opportunity to talk about the greatest sport in the world. I mean, every athlete works just as hard. So, the vaulters, the jumpers, the throwers, the sprinters, distance runners, they all deserve shout outs. They're all leveling up every single day to be the best they can be. So it's great that you guys have this platform for people like myself to talk about the sport. So what you guys are doing is much appreciated by the whole community. Believe me, I hear it from people all the time.
That's great. And, we do it because we enjoy it. And, we've been fortunate enough to be able to have people like you on. Because it's funny because, like, in the beginning, we're like, we need to get Jim Lambert on the show. Like, you were somebody that was like a target because, you know, you're such a well-known commodity in the community because of what you do with the writing and things like that. So just being fortunate to have you on multiple times, to be able to bring you on season after season to talk about it. And I know the athletes appreciate it because when you come on, like people like yourself, people like Phil Grove, he has Pennsylvania and Ohio down. Like, you know, we have so many individuals that, you know, come on, and I just want to go and just keep on poaching all the MileSplit like senior writers like around the country, because man, we could do a podcast every single week, just like all 50 weeks, talking to a different senior writer from MileSplit and just covering high school. Like, God, MileSplit. What is that? What the hell are you doing, MileSplit? I just gave an idea. MileSplit should be having a different senior writer on their show. They should have a podcast where they just talk to all their senior writers. MileSplit, if you do that, I want 10%. Anyway, but overall, Jim, we appreciate you. We appreciate everything you do. You are obviously always welcome back on the show. If you want to go and follow Jim on X, he's a great follow for track and field at Lambo2126. Follow him on Instagram as well, jim.lambert.2126. Go follow New Jersey MileSplit at NJ MileSplit on both X and Instagram. Go find us everywhere at Talking in Ovals. We appreciate all those that watched on X, on YouTube, Facebook. Go do your due diligence on there. I mentioned at the beginning of the show, and just go as well. And if you're listening to this in podcast form, please leave a nice review and a comment. We appreciate those as well. They all help. We'll be back in, what is it? It's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 4 days. Back in 4 days, having another great show, and we'll